Empty to the Jeep, man. Who you think he gonna be? And I'm back at it with another deep dive into these streets. Today, we're talking about one of the most notorious gangs out of Atlanta, and that's YSL, Young Slime Life. The crew that dominated the streets and the music scene until the feds came in and started tearing everything down. We're talking wiretaps, RICO charges, and a war of YF and Lucci that turned the streets of Atlanta into a battlefield. But before we get into all the gritty details, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. It helps the channel grow, and I appreciate every one of you. Atlanta, the heart of the South, where music is life, and the streets are always watching. This city's got everything, from the mansions in Buckhead to the slums where YSL runs the block. And today, we're zooming in on Zone 3, the southeast corner of Atlanta, where things have been heating up for years. YSL isn't just a music label, it's a gang, a movement, a lifestyle. Young Thug built an empire off slime life, blending music with the streets, making his language, his slang go global. But while he was blowing up on the charts, the streets were getting bloodier by the days. YSL had his hands in everything, from music to unaliving, and the authorities were watching closely. It all started with the rise of Young Thug, a kid from Cleveland Avenue who turned his block into a powerhouse. By 2013, Thug was on the come up, signing with Gucci Mane and dropping hits, but the streets knew him as something more. Behind the flashy clothes and eccentric style was a ruthless leader who had his crew armed and ready for war. The police knew it too. They tracked every move, every post, every hand sign, and it all came crashing down when YSL went from the studio to the courtroom. But let's rewind to where it really got grimy. 2015. Nut, the leader of the Inglewood family Bloods and a close associate of YF and Lucci, was gunned down outside a barbershop in Castle Hill. The car used in the hit was traced back to Young Thug himself. This wasn't just a random killing. It was a message, and it sparked a war that would consume Atlanta for years. The streets were buzzing with rumors. Nut had turned state, snitching on his own, and YSL had to take him out. And just like that, the bloodshed began. 2 weeks after Nut was killed, Young Thug was caught on a jail call with the leader of the Sex Money Murder Bloods, talking about sacrifices and soldiers falling in battle. This was chess, not checkers, and every move was calculated. But YF and Lucci wasn't going to take it lying down. He hit back hard, catching YSL members slipping, making them strip down and throwing up his gang signs while they were humiliated. The beef spilled over into the music too, while Lucci bragging about sleeping with Thug's fiancée and taking shots at him on social media. The disrespect was real, and the retaliation was brutal. Young Thug wasn't just responding with bullets. He was using his music to send messages too. On tracks like Just How It Is, he bragged about getting Lucci's mother's house shot up, saying, "I shot at his mommy, now he no longer mentions me." Cops were listening, and they were building a case, connecting the dots between the lyrics and the crimes. But Thug and YSL didn't slow down. They kept the pressure on, finding Lucci's car at the Lenox Mall, taking photos on top of it, and posting online for everyone to see. This wasn't just music, this was war, and it didn't take long for things to spiral out of control. Lucci's crew struck back, trying to catch Thug slipping, but it ended in tragedy when one of Lucci's own was killed during a botched drive-by. The YFN crew pushed him out of the car and left him to die in the street. The police were watching all of this unfold, and it wasn't long before they made their move. By 2022, the feds had enough. They swooped in with a massive RICO indictment, charging YSL with everything from armed robbery to unaliving. The DA had been promising to clean up Atlanta streets, and now she was making good on that promise. With 200 pieces of evidence, including wiretaps, social media posts, and lyrics, the state was ready to take down Young Thug and his entire crew. The trial isn't just about YSL, it's about setting a precedent. The government wants to redefine what can be used against you in court, blurring the lines between art and crime. And while Thug sits in a cell, his words, his music, are being used to bury him. Listen, I've been in the game long enough to see where this leads. The streets don't care about you. They're just gonna take everything from you and spit you out. Young Thug, YF, and Lucci are just the latest in a long line of names to be playing the same game. I know the allure, the power, the respect feels good when you're on top, but it all comes crashing down. And when it does, you're either in the ground or in a cell. But it all eventually comes crashing down. And when it does, You're either in a cell or the ground. Like I said, this isn't just about Thugga and YF and Lucci. This is about everybody out there who thinks they can run the streets without any form of consequences. I implore all of you to find another path if you're living this life, to find a way to make a change and get out, because these streets will chew you up and no one will come to save you. So I'm Ing T the G, and I'm telling everybody, stay pushing, stay progressing, stay positive, stay on your pivot, and stay on your path until we cross it again. Peace.